astTECS, leading enterprise telecom brand.
Are available for us to meet. As is the norm, I request all the guests today to please mute your respective microphones and allow for a smooth transition. If anyone has an urge for an urgent question, I request them to put it on the comment section. I'll be more than happy to take it up at the end of this presentation today. Without much further ado, first of all, I thank you so much for waiting patiently. And without much further ado, I would like to quickly jump on to the presentation. And I go to the first slide, which talks about the agenda for the day. Why more and more companies are adopting automation on IVR. Obviously, it makes a lot of business sense and only if it makes business sense, people are going to jump into the bandwagon. So we'll explain all that in the next few slides. I'll also bring out the nuances of the different versions of IVR that are available: inbound, outbound IVRs, premise or cloud-based IVRs, transactional IVRs, feedback or survey IVRs, last but not the least, IVR blasting. So we're going to cover and explain to you the different versions of the IVR and what it does and how it operates. I'll also provide a little bit input on the market spurt that's happening currently on the IVR product line, the global market size, and what are the verticals that we need to address. I'll try to give some insights so that it'll aid you in your efforts when you contact these markets in your respective regions. Finally, I'll take up a few case studies, which are going to be from different industries: hospitality, hospitals to be precise, business process automation, e-commerce, and voice blasting in general. And finally, I'll leave a few minutes for, not few, quite a few minutes for question and answer sessions. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. Why more and more companies are adopting IVR automation. Before I get into the main course, I would just like to start by saying that we all know how IVR has evolved, right? IVR probably started off a couple of decades ago when people started using an auto attendant solution. For example, a sophisticated office would probably have an auto attendant those days, a couple of decades back. Just say a simple message like, welcome to astTECS Communications. If you know the extension number, please dial the same. Else, wait for the operator to assist you. This is how a very nascent version of IVR used to work. Over a period of time, customers always want more, right? They want more with less money to be paid out. Also, the vendors were jumping in the queue to come up with different solutions. So they evolved the product, and the product got evolved over a period of time. And they added what is known as a multi-stage IVR. And multi-stage IVR was something which astTECS couldn't resist either. So we also came up with our own version of IVR, which is a multi-stage solution. And we did a very good thing, very brilliant thing, I would say, by incorporating this solution without any additional cost in our IP PBX and call center solutions. I see Amir Hussain has raised a hand. I request him to please put his suggestions in the comment box, please. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So we provided this a free of cost solution in our call center and IVR IP PBX solutions. So over a period of time, people came up with automation in the IVR, and this is what we have done. We have tried to bring in automation to the IVR package, and this has been lapped up by customers in different verticals. People like the solution, they love the solution. They want to put this in place and ease the traffic or ease the load on their employees or the outsourced employees, if I might say. And it has helped them by leaps and bounds. How does IVR automation work?
Vijay, 1 minute, just to interrupt. Can everybody hear Mr. Vijay? The voice is clear. Can you just, a few people have put voice is not clear.
Yeah.
Voice is very clear.
It's very clear.
Voice is very clear.
It's clear.
Thank you so much. That gives me a lot of relief.
You can just comment in the comment box if you can hear him.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. You can continue. Yeah.
Thank you.
Continue.
So, yes, please. So how does IVR automation help? Okay, let me just give a very, very simple example. Let's all imagine a very iterative task. For example, a task that needs to be repeated time and again, thousands of times. Just a simple speech. People are going to get tired of repeating the same message over and over again. People are going to probably lose the track of their text, And over a period of time, they're going to get bored and jaded. So it is not easily possible for a human to continue talking the same stuff over and over again for thousands of times, because they're going to be addressing thousands of customers when they call them up to do a survey. And imagine at the same breath that we bring in a machine to do this job. Machine, the whole text is already programmed. It's just going to blast out this information to the customers. And then what this does is it eases the traffic on the employees. Also, it saves time, and the employees could possibly look at some of the things that are more important, or something which else their time could consume, right? So the machine has replaced human intervention. So let's say if you're doing a demographic survey, a country like India has a population of 1 billion. Even if you take a small size, a small pie of that 1 million people, if you want to do a survey with 1 million people, it's humanly impossible to reach out to those many customers and people to get a feedback. So a machine will do the initial screening, if I may say. And if the question is, if anybody interested in a particular brand of credit card, maybe a 0.5% of the demography would say yes, they're interested. So 0.5 itself is a pretty substantial number in a 1 million pie. So that 0.5 can be taken, 0.5% can be taken to do a manual calling. So agents could start calling those 0.5% of the 1 million population. Request to kindly mute. Thank you. So this is the second step. So first step is avoid making millions of calls. And secondly, you save your time. Your energy is more focused by talking to only people who are interested. And the rest of the people, just leave them alone, because there's a whole more population to be covered. So this also helps in visible improvement in productivity and efficiency, as already explained. How people are more motivated because they have something more interesting to do than just calling into a person who is not interested. Helps in better customer service by providing real-time solution. I'll explain to you how we provide real-time solution. These days, technologies have evolved to such an extent that we have technologies like artificial intelligence and natural language processes that has kind of converted machines into human form, and people are able to empathize with the machine much better, able to embrace this technology that is available. IVR and integration or automation gives a double-edged benefit in the customer support. And with all this, I'd just like to take you towards very important statistics that's important for us when we move into the market. So that's where I head in my next slide. I'm going to give you an IVR market overview. A recent study by industry ARC has revealed that the global IVR market size is in the size at around $6.11 billion US. That's a huge, with a CAGR, cumulative annual growth rate of about 6.31%, expected to continue the trend until 2025. So imagine $6.11 billion market, which is untapped, waiting to be reached by astTECS and its branches. What is driving this business is the key drivers are growing adoption of advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and natural language process. And secondly, rise in cloud-based services and solutions. NLP is replacing some of the dead and beaten technologies like DTMF. So earlier days, you dial into an IVR, it'll ask you to dial codes. For example, if you want to reach sales, dial 1. If you want to reach service, dial 2, etc., etc. Or if you want to reach a desired extension, you dial a 3-digit code, 601. So each of these digits correspond to a set of frequencies. And when you dial in on your telephone keypad, these are going to generate frequencies. Sometimes you misdial, you don't reach the right extension. Sometimes the machine is unable to decipher what exactly you've dialed, so you're not led anywhere. That has been replaced by a natural language process, which is able to talk to a human being as though it were another human being. So you can say that I wish to talk to Mr. Aditya, for example. The machine understands that you want to reach out to Aditya and connects you directly to him. Just give an example, don't hold me to this. There are niche markets that are available, cloud-based services, a huge growth potential. Cloud-based services are also known as cloud, like you have the SaaS, for example. So IVR AAS, we have cloud-based solutions offer IVR as a service. That's something which is catching up again. Market size is increasing. It's more flexible. and expandable for customers to customize. Niche markets where we need to really focus on are BFSI, banking, financial institutions, and insurance, healthcare, travel, and hospitality. It has been noticed that the number of calls that go into these segments have increased many folds. Similarly, calls being made out of these verticals to customers has also increased exponentially. So this is really a case available for us to dive into this particular technology, provide the solution to our customers, and take it forward. I'll then quickly move on to the nuances of IVR. What are the different flavors of IVR that are available? And just to give you all an understanding, and so that when you talk to your customers, you know what the customer is looking for, you could give them the right kind of package and solution. Inbound IVR, a very nascent and earliest version of IVR, I would say dial into an office, welcome to astTECS communications. If you know the extension number, please dial the same or wait for the operator's assistant. Then you dial the extension number or whatever you need. And this is basically a very simple form of inbound IVR. What is an outbound IVR? Very simple, used very effectively in most of the contact center solutions. Agents are sitting around trying to reach out to the customers. These days, the fad is they're talking about solution like omni-channel. So they reach out via SMS, emails, by calls, and through, of course, social media. People are into Twitter, people are into Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. Everyone is a kind of a mini celebrity. They have a Twitter account, a Facebook account. So people are accessible and they want to be accessible too. We have IVR blasting, which is a combination of IVR and voice blasting, as we call it at astTECS. Voice blasting by itself is a huge potential, and you can reach out to thousands of customers across the globe, across the demography, and pass on your messages. IVR and blasting can actually be mind-boggling, I would say, that's to say the least. We have premise and cloud-based solutions. Most of the IVR solutions we have been exposed to these days are premise-based, like you have it been built on our IPPBX and call center solutions. But as I said, people are moving towards cloud-based solutions where you don't have to invest in the hardware, because the problem with the hardware is sometimes it's not that flexible. If you are using a particular sized IVR, it may not be that easily expandable, and you may not be able to change the menu that easily, but it has to be programmed. So our cloud-based solution makes it that much more flexible, and this is offered as a service, as I told you earlier. Feedback IVRs, great thing, because every service provider these days wants a feedback about how the service was. So they need an input so that they could take remedial actions, and come up with better versions for their own customers. So that was a very brief on nuances of IVR. I hope I'm clear. Hope you're able to get me very clearly. If you have any questions, as I said, kindly put them on the comment box. We will address them at the end of the session. Quickly jump onto the case study for you today. The first case we have here Bangalore in India is the Enhanced. It's a hospital run by the government of India. We have Bangalore. We have patients coming from that is catering to mental illness, mental a lot of celebrities openly come up and say that they have this problem, that problem. So I would say that astTECS probably was lucky that we were able to be present at the right time, at the right place, to come up with a solution that NIMHANS wanted so badly. It's not that they didn't have an IVR in place; they had a quasi-automatic, or I would say more of a manual kind of a solution. I'll explain what exactly we did for NIMHANS. What I'll do is I will actually explain this a little bit and take you through a flow chart that'll make you understand better what exactly we have implemented at NIMHANS through a small online call, so that I'll take you into the IVR to an extent. I won't be able to take you full extent, because obviously the security issues is It's a hospital. We can't go beyond the point. So I'll try to do my best. Manual kind of a IVR, so that you dial into the IVR on a PRI trunk. The system recognizes your mobile number, and people used to register your mobile number and call you back. That was for the first time. This, so the doctor, not the doctors, the concerned people there would call back the mobile number and take your complaint. So they could probably give you a tele-check-in. Tele-check-in means somebody will screen you on the telephone first. And if you're a candidate for an online business at the premises, they'll ask you, they'll give you an appointment, and you could visit the hospital then. For the repeat caller, for a patient who's already, for a person who's already visited hands before for some treatment, there is another process. So they will have to give what is known as a N number or a P number or a UHID number. I'll explain what these are. N is for neurology or neurosciences. Obviously, we're talking about hands, which is a mental and neurological disorder hospital. So N number is neurological. P is psychiatry. So you could have an N number or a P number, or you could have a UHID number, which is a combination of neurology and psychiatry problem. So they might have a UHID number. So they're supposed to give this manually, and somebody will check all the files and come back to you and saying, based on, they'll check what was your last visit or your history and things like that. Then they'll give you an appointment. Everything was done manually. So that's why I said quasi-automatic, because the only thing automatic is that you call into the system and it automatically takes you to an agent. So that was the only portion that was automatic. Now, earlier, the shift was only from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., right? Because the limited patients now looks like, as I said, the fat has grown so much. More and more people are being open about their illness. They want to visit the hospital and get themselves treated. So the traffic has increased quite a bit in the hospital. And so they extended the time from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also, one of the other problems they had with the old system was hawkers used to take appointments, false appointments, and then sell them at a cost to other wannabe patients, but people who want to visit the hospital, because the IVR used to be almost jammed all the time because of the traffic. So they will take appointments and sell it to outside patients at a premium. This is very illegal indeed. And then these things had to be avoided. So with all that, keeping all that in mind, we came up with a fully automatic solution wherein we could integrate our IVR to the existing database that the customer had. The customer had a huge NIMHANS had a huge database of patients visiting them. So all that available in a particular platform. So that had to be integrated. Secondly, they have an e-hospital system, which is their own internal CRM solution. And that had to be integrated because a lot of things need to be verified, authenticated, and things like that. So that's what we achieved. So what happens, the process is still the same. The first time caller calls in, then he goes through the language options, English, a couple of Indian languages there, English, Hindi, and Kannada. People could opt for whichever language they prefer. And then they had to key in the mobile number. The mobile number is the fulcrum of the whole operation here, because that has to be a valid mobile number, and you will be tracked based on your mobile number. Your history will be tracked. So what we did in addition was that we were able to automate it. We were able to integrate it to the e-hospital system and also to the database that was available. And this could really help in automation of the whole system there. Things work very, very smoothly these days. And with integration of SMS and emails. So what I'll do now is quickly take you through, I'll just stop my screen share for a while because I have to share you another file. Just hold on, please. I have a file over here. Yeah, thank you for your patience. So this is the file I want. I hope it's visible. I'll just put on the presentation.
Yes, Vijay, please proceed.
Yeah, thank you. So as I said, the call lands on the IVR. There's a welcome message, the language option. Then you go through that first time registration. You're either a telescreening or walk-in screening or a referral patient. All that is classification is done. Then your mobile number has to be entered, and then you're set, all set. Okay. Now, if it is, for example, a repeat patient, for example, a patient who's already been to NIMHANS, okay, let me just finish this. So enter the mobile number. So if your mobile number is valid, they classify you as for a telescreening, fit for a telescreening, or then a walk-in screen, and then you're set for the appointment. Okay. If you are a follow-up appointment, again, you go through the same rigmarole. You dial in the PRL trunk, land at the IVR, put in your P number or N number or UHID number. I explain to you what these stand for: psychiatry, neurological, and UHID. So these numbers had to be inputted. So there's an e-hospital authentication process that happens. And then you, once you're authenticated, obviously you got to put in your mobile number. This is a valid mobile number, mind you. You cannot put a random mobile number and get yourself qualified for a meeting. So you got to put in the mobile number that has been inputted earlier by you, used by you earlier. And then your appointment is confirmed via an SMS. So this is how the process is being automated. There's one more leg to this. So we also have the radiology services. So radiology could be an X-ray or an MRI or any such thing. So people, the candidates who are coming to collect their reports, or they could be candidates coming for the scanning, right? For reports, you again go through the rigmarole of putting in the PIN number, N number, UHID number, and put in your mobile number. Then they'll say your concerned person will contact you back for you to come and collect the reports. If you're trying to schedule a meeting with for the scanning, it'll play an audio file to you that'll lead you to an appointment process. All right. At this point, I just want to take a break and would like to just take you through a small call, just to give you an example of how this particular IVR works. Kindly bear with me. I'll just dial a particular number. I'm going to dial the NIMHANS IVR. Hopefully, you'll be able to listen to the audio. Let me just call the number. Put on speaker.
The NIMHANS OPD follow-up appointment services. This service is available for patients who have previously consulted with NIMHANS. This dialing facility is available between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on all working days. For English, press 1. Hindi ke liye. If your hospital number starts with P, press 1. If your hospital number starts with N, press 2. For neurology appointments, press 1. For neurosurgery, press 2. For psychiatry, kindly type your hospital number followed by hash. You have entered 7, 4, 5, 8, 9, 6. Press 1 to confirm. Please enter your valid mobile number followed by hash to receive. You have entered 7, 3, 3, 8, 4, 8, 8, 7, 1, 5. Press 1 to confirm.
Okay, what happens at this point is, obviously, you need an NP or UHID number. You'll understand, you'll empathize with me that I don't have one of these because I'm not a patient at NIMHANS. So actually, it gets you disconnected. If you need to proceed further, you need to have all those details, right? So this is how, just to give you a glimpse about how the IVR works. So I hope that gave you an insight. This can still be taken forward, but at this point, I think we'll have to cut it short at this particular level. So that was a brief on what we did at NIMHANS. I'll just take you on to the next case study for the day, which is with a company called Quest Corp. Quest Corp is here. What we have done is we have done an employee onboarding via IVR. So here we've actually implemented both an inbound as well as an outbound IVR solution. Quest Corp provides a host of technology-enabled staffing and managed outsourcing services across various domains.
Yeah, Vijay, can you put the presentation back? Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, so sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot about it. Just hold on, please. I hope it's visible now.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Sorry for that. Okay, so Quest Corp, as I said, provides host of technology-enabled staffing and managed outsourcing services across various domains. So we have done 2 solutions for the different, I would say, different verticals, if I may use the word. So Quest Corp, the inbound services is for basically they have a job portal. So people, candidates who are looking for a job could log into the Quest Corp IVR and get details about the various job opportunities that are available. And you could probably go online to the extent to get as much information as possible. So at this stage, what I'll do is I'm going to kind of split it up because this is an IVR, inbound IVR. So I'm going to take you through a small call once again. Kindly bear with me. The calls are, I'll assure this is the last call we're doing for the day. So let me call into the Quest IVR and put you online. Hold on, please.
Welcome. Thank you for your interest in Vedanta Vritti Rozgar Yojana powered by Quest Corp Limited. Please, for English and 2 for Hindi. Thank you for your interest in our course. Please enter your 6-digit PIN code followed by the hash key after this message. To go back to the previous menu, please press 9. Vedanta Vritti Rozgar Yojana is 100% placement-linked training program. We also offer interest-free loans to avail this program. To go back to the previous menu, please press 9. To know more about our courses, please press 3. Please choose the course you're interested in after this message. Press 1 for certification in customer relationship management. Press 2 for certification in banking, sales, and mutual funds. Press. Thank you. We have noted your response. Our team will get back to you shortly.
So that was the IVR that we have developed for Quest Corp. So I hope you gave me an insight about how the system works. There's absolutely no manual intervention till this point.
Sir, I want to ask one question. Like this process of business process automation from the Quest,
Naveed,
can we also use?
Now, excuse me, Naveed, we have a separate question session at the end of the session. We appreciate. Can you just hold
fine,
for?
Fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because what happens, it interrupts the flow of the thought, and then it could just we might just delay it in the process. I request you kindly put the questions in the comment section, please, or we could give you the opportunity to ask the question at the end of the session. Thank you so much. So what I'll do next is I'll take you through the outbound IVR solution that we have provided. So that I have got in the form of a flow chart. That's following the next slide that we have. So let me just give you a brief about what happens once the candidate is interviewed and selected. An offer letter is issued, obviously, to the candidate. So Quest Corp uses an IVR automation process to onboard a candidate and complete the documentation process. There's something called as pre-joining process, wherein the candidate has to input a lot of documents. So this is the way it is done is explained in this particular flow chart. So the offer letter is created in their OMS, for example. I don't know what OMS stands for. These are all the internal systems, probably order management system. Offer ID and employee info is synced to the POP. Automatically an SMS pushed to the associate is the candidate who is going to be selected. There is a welcome call that is generated saying, welcome, Mr. So-and-so. We are happy to have you on board. You're most likely to be selected for this particular job. As part of the pre-screening process, we request you to please submit the following documents. One is your national identity number, your experience certificate, maybe your previous 3 months salary slips or whatever. I mean, I don't know what the documents are. So a set of 4 or 5 documents that needs to be uploaded into the system. So a timeline is given for the candidates. Normally a 4 to 5 days timeline is given, and the candidate is sent an SMS and also an email with the offer letter. So the SMS has a link, so he can click the link and upload the documents. The documents, once uploaded, are verified and everything found to be intact. Then he's given a message saying, thank you so much for submitting the documents. We will revert back to you with the next process, whatever is applicable. For some reason, the candidate has only uploaded 3 out of the 5 documents. So the reminder sent on days 2, 3, 4, and 5, during which time he has the time to actually upload those documents. If he doesn't do that within day 5, what happens is automatic IVR call will get generated and reach out to the candidate and tell him to submit the document once again. And for example, if one of the documents submitted is not legible, that will also trigger a call, and the candidate will be asked to resubmit that particular document. I hope this was clear. This is a lot of automation we have done for Quest Corp. Thank you for your patient listening. I then move on quickly to the case study 3 that we have for the day, that is e-commerce industry. Technicians looking to e-commerce industries. When I say e-commerce, it includes companies like Amazon, Flipkart, and the likes. So obviously, Amazon, let's say you get into the Amazon website, you want to order out a few stuff for yourself. Maybe you order a set of trousers, some set of pants, some shirts, maybe a laptop or whatever. Depending on your requirement, you order those stuff, 4 or 5 equipments, for example. These are shipped at different times, right? Not all of them are shipped at the same time. So the customer is curious to know what is the status of his order. So he could dial into the IVR and get a feedback. So again, they use omni-channel to get back to the customers, either through an SMS or through an email. And they get updates on the various products. For example, the laptop was shipped yesterday, the t-shirts will be shipped on the day after tomorrow, whatever the time zones, or whatever times, dates are applicable, they will that information. Apart from this information, they also have, obviously, when you could end up not liking some of them, you want to return them back. So you return the product back and you're looking for a refund of your payment, right? You made payment in advance. So there's also an fully automated, and you get a feedback about the status of your refund. You should receive it by the end of today, or maybe it's if they can't, it will be done the next couple of days. It'll give you an update on that. So this has helped eliminate agent interaction completely, and it has improved the speed of response to customers by nearly 40%. That's the takeaway for us with Capillary Technologies. And finally, I'll just quickly move on to the last case study for the day. It's voice blasting for sales and market automation. So I think I actually touched upon this subject in the very beginning, where I say we have a huge demography, a country like India with 1 billion population. Bajaj Finserv is the example I've chosen. Bajaj is a kind of a household name. They're into electrical and electronics goods manufacture. They're also into financial services. They provide loans, car loans, house loans, any type of personal loans, and credit cards and all this stuff. So they want to contact customers, they want to generate customers. It's done mostly through the outbound voice blasting, or IVR blasting as we call it as. So they reach out to a demography of about 1 million people and filter it, and maybe arrive at a final filtered value of about 0.25% of the 1 million demography they started off initially with. And then a manual agent will start calling, an agent will manually start calling this 0.5% of the filtered database. And they'll start talking. It's humanly impossible for you to talk to 1 million people. It's going to take a huge amount of time. Consider the amount of agents that you have to recruit, the time wastage, the amount of payments you have to dole out to these agents and things like that. Similarly, for credit card, personal loans, specific official offer promotions, etc., the technology is used very much. You offer a new scheme, or your special interest rates and things like that. Maybe you're offering a free credit card for life or whatever. So you could give out these messages to your one of your customers, and they're able to have these promotions. They can use it from promotions. Yeah, customer satisfaction survey feedback. So CSAT is one of the important elements in improving your business process. Obviously, you always need to look out for feedbacks. You visit the restaurant, you like the food, you like the ambience, the waiter there sticks a bill at you. Along with that, he also sticks in a customer feedback form. These days, all those manual forms are replaced by more automatic IVRs. So you dial into the IVR, calls you and tries to get a feedback from you, right? Political and social campaigns. This is the most happening. happening thing, I would say. Political scenarios, people are trying to win elections, major campaigns, a huge amount of money is being spent on elections. People want to reach out. The leaders, political leaders want to reach out to maximum number of people at any point in time so that they can propagate the schemes that they have released or the agenda they have in the manifesto. So they will use a technology called IVR blasting to reach out to these multitude of people. Social campaigns, who can forget the COVID? It's probably, hopefully we have seen the end of it. The COVID has put up various possibilities for us as an organization. We have been able to provide solutions to various government bodies and agencies across various districts in India, wherein we have installed IVR solutions, which people needed a soft touch. People always, when they go through these kind of pandemics, people need a soft touch. So they have solutions at the doorstep, at the fingertips. They can dial into the IVR for ambulance service or whatever service they want. So these were deployed by us across different districts across the country. Reminders and notifications. Obviously, nobody wants a reminder for a wife's birthday or a husband's birthday. No, we're talking about reminder for a school fee or maybe a college fee. The parents get a reminder. Notifications about probably the next installment of loan that you have taken, you need to pay back. So those kind of solutions also are available with astTECS. I've spoken so much about what needs to be done, what needs to be done correctly. So there are a lot of things, a few things I would say, that we need not do or we should not do, what not to do, IVR automation. So never design an overcomplicated menu. So don't make it complicated. As I said in the beginning, people hate machines. So they don't want an overcomplicated machine there. And people have started loving machine because of the AI and the other technologies that are available. They are trying to embrace the machine language and go with that. But if you go back to overcomplicated menu, people are going to start hating the machines once again. Lack of timely update, new products are added, new solutions, whatever. And you need to update your process automation so that customers don't get irritated because they should know what's happening the latest. They want to go for the latest version of a particular device. So they should know what is the updates on that and things like that. And use of agent. So normally it's better to avoid an agent because you're talking about a fully automated solution. But if an agent is a must, probably they should be accessible quickly. Sometimes you never get that option to dial 9 for an agent or something like that. You can never get that option there. Too long and too delayed, too much of winded information. People aren't interested. These are days of T20 matches. People want it to end all quickly, so they don't want to hang on to a telephone handset for hours together. They want it to be done fast and quickly. And lastly, do not think one size fits them all. So we need to have, even within an organization, different business processes will need different solutions. So we cannot misjudge and say one solution will work for everyone. All 5 fingers not of same size. All right. I think with that, I have finally come to the end of the session. I'm sorry for keeping the people who had questions on hold. I think this is the session where they can open up and come up with those questions, and we as a team, we have, if I'm able to take it, I'll do it. I'll have my esteemed colleagues here who will be able to help me with their answers.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Vijay, for the wonderful presentations on IVR automation.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll move to the today's questions one by one, and we'll try to attend each and every questions. So the first questions that have come from is from Mr. Fahad Al-Haz. For his first question is why you don't have an IVR mobile app.
Why we don't have an IVR mobile app?
Yeah.
A good question. I think that's something for us to take it up with our R&D, and maybe Mr. Bitnish can help me with an answer for that.
Yeah. Hi, Fahad. But how about no IVR? Can you repeat? I don't have the question with me. Can you repeat once again?
Why you don't have an IVR mobile app?
Because I am seeing in a lot of industries in the healthcare, because you're talking about healthcare systems, right? So we have an application in the insurance companies, the Bupa, and the most renowned companies. They are having an application. All the database is linked through a code or an employee ID. And the database, what I asked you for the e-hospital that you're talking about, both the databases are linked at the back end. They can trace from the insurance company with the database of the customers. So the users are the user UX experience. I mean, user experience will be more handy and more enhanced for the because we are talking about digital transformation, and the buzz is very known after the COVID situation. So if you are developing a tool which is very handy for all of us, all the normal great consumer, let's say, or customer, it will be more handy. Now I know the stage is you're just developing through your telephonic exchanges, and but in the future you can put it in the brandy.
Yeah, but see, the IVR can be accessed over the mobile, but I don't know. I didn't get your point. See, there are mobile applications, right? Mobile apps, but that is nothing to do with the IVR. So IVR is a voice automation. So voice automation, you can, if you have, for example, Nimans has got an IVR, you can access it from your mobile or any telephone you can access. So I don't know. I'm not very sure.
Yeah, because you need a voice input for the IVR, what I understand.
We are unable to
what exactly
how does an IVR app
the mobile-based the IVR?
That's what I'm telling you. The telemetry is the mobile app. You are using a mode through the telephonic lines. But my question is for us, we are using digital applications. You got
okay, so I think so you are more talking about an app, so through which you can get the data information. That is more of a
you're going to devise several sequence of operations, or the flow chart which you showed to me. The analogy is the same, but here you're using a cloud-based tool or application tool, and here you're using a telephonic media. That's it. Yeah,
so see, our IVR is purely on a telephony side of it, where you can interact with the database and get the voice, right? It's a voice response, purely with the voice. So I think your point is more mixed with the data as well. Okay, so maybe let's see if we have some scope, as you mentioned. Maybe things are evolving. It may get evolved in that direction as well. Thank you for that anyway. Thank you so much, and maybe we will come up with some solution.
Yeah, we have probably made a note of this, and we'll work towards that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I hope your second question has been answered, Mr. Fahad. He's telling regarding on the e-hospital interface integrations.
Yeah, e-hospital is the integration we have done. I mean, e-hospital is the nomenclature they've used.
His question is, what are the e-hospital interface prerequisite parameters?
Just APIs. Just APIs. Just APIs. So each e-hospital, integration is mainly to pass the data for booking.
Sorry to interrupt, Dennis. Mr. Fahad, it will be good if you can just put on your video on, and so that we can have a detailed discussions. Yeah, please carry on, Dinesh.
Yeah, my voice is clear?
Yes.
Okay. So, Fahad, what I'm trying to say is that, see, the e-hospital interfacing is basically, we require when we wanted to pass some data to the e-hospital, application database. Okay. So what we require, the prerequisite is just the APIs.
So the API, you mean, can you explain what's the API? I missed it. What's the API?
Yeah, so API is basically a handshaking tool. It's called application programming interface. So any integration with any two databases will happen through APIs, right? Yeah. You got it.
Okay. I got that one. Okay.
Yeah. So there are defined APIs with eHospital itself, and we integrate through that.
Is it different for different customer segments, or is it the same on a common platform?
No, it's not a common platform. Because the eHospital brands are different. No, each eHospital. Some hospitals will have their own eHospital system in-house built. So see, the API logic will remain the same, but the parameter which we get passed, the structure of the API may change.
Okay, but that's
Yeah.
not it's not a bottleneck for the
No,
the
It's
integration.
not a bottleneck, no.
It is not a bottleneck, but we need support from the e-hospital team. If, for example, if Opera has given the hospital, then we need support from that company because we don't know their e-hospital structure.
Yeah, you need to know the data structure of that
The
system.
handshake, we need to do the handshake with that, yes.
Yes, to relinquish. Yeah, it's same like banking operations when you have different data structures in different banks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yes. Thank you so much, Fahad, for your question. What is next? Yeah, people, Umawar, they can raise your hand as well, and you can ask the question also. If you raise your hand, we can unmute and you can ask. So is that
yes?
Firdausi, you're on mute or we can't hear you.
Firdausi, what's the next question, please?
The next question is, it's same from Mr. Fahad only. What about the reward program with the IVR for the channel partners or campaigns?
Yeah, I mean, I think during my presentation, I explained to you the different nuances of IVR. So it depends on what is the IVR solution that you are looking for as a channel partner. What is your customer looking for? So that is not the, I mean, whatever various nuances I explained, these are not the end of the whole thing. We can come up with newer solution. The customer wants something specific. We could come up with a solution to meet that particular requirement. So we're not saying these are the only options available. There are other options always. We need to look out for those options.
I have one, I was pondering on one thing. Do you have a system of integrated hospital management systems? Means in a city or in an area, you have all the e-hospital, the people who are using the e-hospital, they are interconnected through a centralized, a system, and you can help them. If a hospital doesn't have a facility of certain portfolio of, medical services, the system, your IVR system can, relate to another healthcare center or something like that. Do you have something like this? Like in Holland, in Canada, we have this.
Okay. So I think you're talking about integrating the whole database of a city, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's under the Ministry of Health. You have a database management system for the whole. It's like a banking, centralized banking system for under the monetary fund. So the same concept is done for the Ministry of Health, integrating all the hospital for vaccination centers for the for different hospitalized, different facility, medical equipment facilities. And you got my point. Some hospital customers are not able to avail the facility in that particular. Premises.
Yeah, Fahad, I think see the IVR for each hospital or each the public service sector, it is a customized one. So we need to define the flow. Based on the flow, wherever automation is required, we will do the automation process. So what you're asking currently, we don't have. We have independent implementations for customer requirements, independent customer requirements. So if you have any active requirements, maybe so, because this integrated IVR is not a out of the box solution, it's all customized solution for a specific customer. So we have a platform on which we can customize.
No, but basically in your country, I believe the governing body, the Ministry of Health, I don't know how far the public sector, the private sectors are associated with the public,
I think, Father, I got your question. You're saying that you're talking about integrating whole city database. I mean, at this point, we are providing solutions to enterprises, not to the whole city, like right? We don't have a solution for the whole city or a whole country or a whole town.
Like I will give you an example of Saudi Arabia and the Gulf countries. Everything is governed by a Ministry of Health accreditation. And it has been, like we have the vaccination centers now. It's been centralized through an application.
In our thinking, Ministry of Health, we could, that's being taken care of the government of India or the local governments there.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you,
good, good.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vijay and Mr.
Thank you.
Binish. Thank you, Mr. Farhan. Now, let's move on to next question. The question is from Mr. Azi Kumar. His question is, what is CAGR? Mr. Aji, if you are there,
sorry.
you can just put on the video.
Yeah.
So that...
Yeah. Please come online. I think explain what is CAGR is cumulative annual growth rate. That's measure on what's the growth percentage year on year. For example, I said from between 2020 and 2025. Ajit, are you there? I mean, sorry, I can't see you.
Yeah, Mr. Aji.
Yeah.
Can you please
Okay.
put on your video?
Okay, Vijay, you continue.
Yeah, Ajit, what I was saying was CAGR stands for cumulative annual growth rate. So that means when we have let's say a business of $1 million. So next year, what is the growth expected? So when I say 6.31% growth, that means a 6.31% growth on $1 million. That is maybe 106.31 million growth number for the second year. So that way you keep on adding cumulatively at the end of each year. That's how we tabulate it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vijay. I hope Mr. Vijay, you have Azi, you have got your reply. Next, let us go on to our next questions. The next question is from Varun. Mr. Varun, what is the maximum level of hierarchy for the IVR? Mr. Varun,
What's the maximum level of what? Sorry.
Maximum level of hierarchy for IVR. The level of IVR, yeah.
Level of IVR, okay.
Yeah.
We haven't been challenged to an extent that we have said, no, we cannot develop an IVR for a customer. We haven't been challenged. So there is no limit because as I said, in replying to Fahad earlier, we are catering to enterprises of small, medium, and large sizes. So any of these kind of enterprises needing a solution, we can discuss with them. We have no limit as such. We could come up with solutions that are required for specific customers, specific industries.
Yeah, Mr. Varun, if you're online, you can just put on your video. I hope your question has been answered.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, sir.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you for your question.
Okay.
Okay, I think that is the last question. Mrs. May put it in the chat box. If anybody has any further query, please raise your hand, or you can just unmute yourself and start your video and can ask the query.
Madam, this is Navid Qureshi.
Yeah, please put on your video, Mr. Navid.
No, actually, I don't have video, but
okay, please proceed. Yeah.
I am associated with a firm actually, which is providing a BPO process funding also, but I'm looking for a BPO based IVR. So this, I mean, apart from IVR, is anything else I get from astTECS, like to set up my business process outsourcing business? Can you? How can apart from that, is any other software I can use?
Answer this question, please.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't get your good name. Qureshi, right? Yeah. So
yeah, Navid Qureshi. Yeah.
No, yeah, Navid. So I think astTECS. So if you are planning to set up a business processing outsource unit, so we can support you in multiple ways. We have our contact center solutions. That is another product, the call center solution. If there is a lot of calling is involved, right? Both inbound and outbound with call recordings, multiple levels of IVR. Okay, so we can with predictive dialing. So we need to understand, Naveen, what is exact your business requirement, what type of calling you will be doing. So based on that, we will be able to give you a right solution. So what we can do, maybe you're from where? Which part of the country?
Sir, I'm from Indore, MP, sir.
Okay. So I will connect you with the the sales person for the city, and he will discuss with you.
Just for the franchisee also.
Yeah.
Even I have multiple business, sir. Apart from that, I am the director of IT company, and I have some co-founder logistics also. Now planning to come to astTECS.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely we can support you in that direction. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Qureshi. Thank you, Binish. Again, next question is from Mr. Fahad again. His question is, how much is the capex for this IVR system deployment on overall business investment? Mr. Fahad, you can just put on your video and you can discuss. Yeah.
Fahad, nice question again. So again, what I want to say is there are two modes here. One is OPEX and CAPEX, right? For example, if you want to own an IVR, it depends on the size of the IVR. So we need to understand the requirement based on which, what is the current kind of customization that is required for the IVR. Based on that, we could come up with a commercial proposal for that. Similarly, for OPEX,
I didn't get your name, sir. Your name, good name.
My name is Vijay. My name is Vijay.
Mr. Vijay, yes, sir. I joined lately. What my concern is, I understand it's fully customized. Let's say for a hospital, for a 500-bed hospital, we are talking about healthcare. A 500 extending to, let's say, even 1,000, because the post-COVID situations now we are talking about. So what do you anticipate? What kind of a capex you give us, kind of a figure that would be in terms of a percentage on the overall, business investment? Because as an entrepreneur, I will focus building my management system, correct, through the tools and not only HR, the management system, even other portfolio for manpower management and other empowerment. So for that, I need to ask you, what do you give as a status indication on, some kind of figure that would really be attractive?
I think I got a question. I think the answer to this is the investment for an IVR is going to be very minuscule compared to the overall project size. The project is going to run to millions of dollars. This one is going to be a very small amount. I mean, maybe running into a couple of $1,000s, maybe a little bit more. It's not going to be that much again, but we need to understand what's the automation involved. Are you looking for a plain IVR? Or are you looking to automate stuff in that? So it all depends on understanding your requirement. And I think Vijay can add more to that.
No, just to see, Fahad, we can do an IVR automation from $1,000 and it can go up to $25,000, in that range. So it actually depends on number of levels, number of the type of integration, multiple things. So we can give you a range of price, not exact price. Okay.
You have facility management system also
no, we don't. Yeah, we can integrate with facility management system also. Yes.
So that's another module that will be additional cost, right?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Binish. Thank you, Mr. Vijay. I hope, Mr. Fahad, your query has been answered. So this is the last questions. If anybody has a further query, please unmute yourself and you can ask the questions. Maybe for another 4 or 5 minutes, we'll be here on your session. So I hope no further questions is there.
There's one from Victor Ajoga. Is there any additional cost to those with inbuilt IVR solutions?
Okay, he has just posted, he has just posted a questions. Mr. Victor, you can just unmute yourself and start your video. The question is there any additional cost to those with the inbuilt IVR solutions? That's for the current customers. Mr. Victor, are you online?
Yeah, he's online.
Yeah, Mr. Vijay, you can answer the question.
Yeah. So is there
please. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, there will be additional because we are talking about integrated IVR. So integrated IVR, inbuilt IVR is just an auto attendant, right? You will have multiple levels of attendants. But we are speaking here about integrated IVR where we need to integrate with database. So of course, there will be additional cost based on the effort and scope of work.
Yeah. I hope, Mr. Victor, I hope your question has been answered. Yeah, he said, okay, thanks. So I think
no more questions. Maybe Vijay, we can conclude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think thank you so much for your time and patience. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope you enjoyed the session. I enjoyed bringing to all of you today. See you next time, next webinar, next month. Thank you.